Yo, what is up, guys? It is your host, HD Samurai here, and welcome back to the channel. Sorry, let me just grab something real quick. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, what is up, guys? I'm not going to lie to you. I am in a very bad mood today. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. You see, this spring break is now coming to an end. And the thing that gets me upset is that I didn't get to do anything that I wanted throughout spring break. That got me sad, dude. Like, legit, I was supposed to like be recording videos, be working out this entire spring break, sitting down, relaxing, reading, studying, trying to do what I usually like doing. And I have not been able to do it. Legit, I've not been able to work out. Number two, I legit have only been able to make one video this entire week. Well, two if you consider this one because I'm uploading it today, but still. And overall, things things just did not go the way I planned it on. I'm really sorry, guys. I know I know that you guys have waited for those videos, but unfortunately, family matters came first. My parents want to, do something, and as a kid, I have to go ahead and do it, which is unfortunate. But what choice do I have? But hey, guys, I'm not giving up though, because at least you guys still get content. All right. Remember, I post every day of the week, and I think around maybe next week we should be done with it. I luckily was able to convince them to give me 3 days to film videos for y'all. So here they are, 3 days of videos. I'll also be posting on the weekend as well this time because, I really want to make it up to y'all. So I really hope you guys do enjoy this video. But either way, it's Seiji Samurai. We're here with another part to what if Asta had Acnologia's powers. So besides all that, let's begin.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do?
Alright, guys, let's begin this what if. Just to let you guys know, I will be trying out another form of doing my stories, which, yes, I'm pretty sure you guys realize that, constantly I always try changing it up because I try to find out which one is best for me. But yeah, if you guys hear me like change the style that I'm saying it, then yeah. Either way, let's begin, shall we? So we now start off where we last left off, this being the attack on the Clover Kingdom. Asta, who had pretty much showed the nobles that he was top dog, had walked off because he was pissed off. Of course, Noel and Yuno had to try to comfort him, which he was of course okay with. But due to this, he had also been able to smell out the attack, and we now turn to the present. Now at this, we see Rady as he was now approaching a young girl with a smile on his face as the girl was crying. At this, Rady tells her that no one was going to save her. You and this entire kingdom will burn to the ground, he would say as he approaches the girl. However, right before he even gets a chance though, a very powerful fist will literally slam into his gut by Asta, who had appeared out of nowhere. As he would then send Rady flying with a powerful punch, sending him flying and separating him from the young girl, as the young girl could do nothing more but watch in shock of this heroic act. Are you okay? Asta would say as he turns to the girl with a sort of blunt expression. At this, the girl would be nodding her slowly as Asta would give her a smile. At this, he would end up picking up the little girl, asking her if she knew where her parents were, to which she would say that she had no idea and that she got separated from them. Man, really unfortunate circumstances, Asta would say. As this when he would then turn to go, he would see that the fire was everywhere, so Asta being Asta, he decides that he could deal with this quite easily. As he opens his mouth, he would then suddenly begin to absorb all the fire that was around, this causing the girl to actually be able to breathe properly because, all the smoke around the area, which I'm surprised literally Asta was able to stay standing. Like, bro, there was fire all around him, and the man was like breathing as if like nothing was happening. That's something right there. However, due to this, Asta was actually able to eat the fire, because considering that this fire was actually made of magic, so Asta was easily able to put it out. As after he enjoyed eating this delicious amount of magic, he would then set the girl down, giving her his robe, the Black Bull's robe that he got. There you go. As this, the girls would look at Asta in surprise, as this one suddenly he would then turn to Rady, who was getting up. Oh, damn it! It hurts! He would be shouting as he would be grabbing his gut, as literally his ribs were completely shattered just from the attack that Asta had thrown. At this, he goes ahead and winces as he's not even able to move properly, as Asta tells her to look away. At this, the girl would nod as this when Asta begins to approach. You, weakling, were you the cause of all this? At this, Rady will look at the man, he's like, shut up! It freaking hurts! Oh my god, I swear once I get up, I'm gonna be... However, right before he could finish, this when suddenly Asta's foot would then slam into his face, causing his head to be crushed onto the ground. Now at this point, Asta was throwing Rady a very intimidating look as he once again asked, "I didn't ask for your complaints, weakling. I asked, were you the cause of all of this?" Like this, Radius was not able to say anything. This guy, he would think, he's insane. What kind of magical monster is he? As Radius, now that he was so close to Asta, he could feel it. Asta's magical power was rising by the second, as his emotions were being portrayed through his face, as he was showing nothing more but pure disgust and anger. "You're not answering the question. Let me see how this will make you talk." At this, Asta would then lift his foot, as this one suddenly would then gain a bluish glow, as he would then slam it directly into Rady's stomach, causing the man to scream out, coughing up blood, as he's not able to do anything. "Stop," he would say, but he was barely able to say it, considering the fact that at this point, like, this man was literally about to go unconscious because of the pain. At this, Asta would scoff. "Please, this is nothing more than a scratch, and you over here wincing? Pathetic." At this, Asta would then suddenly kick the man into a wall, as he would slide down, as he would be crashing into it and then sliding down, as at this point Radius had fallen unconscious. At this, Asta saying this would then get upset. "Hey, who said you can get unconscious? Wake up." At this, Asta would then walk over to Radius as he began slapping him over and over again, telling him to wake up, but Radius was non-responsive. Great. At this though, Asta realizing that there was really no point in trying to ask these idiots for help and trying to solve this, he then decides to actually use his magical abilities, as being him being a dragon slayer. He uses his senses as he begins to sense around the area. At this, while doing this, he would also feel Noelle's approach, as she was running after Asta, screaming at him. At this, Asta would then turn to the little girl, who was still turning away, as he then says, "Little girl, why don't you go to her?" At this, she turns to Noelle. She instantly says that she's pretty, to which Asta goes ahead and agrees, but he tells her to go over there to her, as she's one of his allies. At this, she goes ahead and nods as she runs over to Noelle, as Asta would then turn to her. "Watch over her for me. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of the other one." As soon as hearing these words, this one suddenly, on top of the pile of bodies of undead, you will see another man appear, as he will then suddenly, open a portal underneath him. At this, however, Asta was not going to let him escape, as this is when he then speaks. "Dragon Slayer Arts. Eruption." A golden beam would then shoot up underneath all the pile of zombies, as he would then suddenly be sent flying and crashing into different areas. While doing this, one of the men would also be sent flying as well, as this was Valtos. "Damn it, I didn't think he could actually sense me," he would think, as he would be sent flying and crashing into a building. At this, Asta then begins to walk over to him. "So you're the other one. Well, your friend was kind of boring, so I wonder if maybe you could entertain me," Asta would say. As he then gives him a fierce grin, he would then suddenly begin to power up his fist, using the power of the end, as he smiles directly at Valtos. This is when Leopold would also end up arriving, as he ends up shouting, wait up," he would say. However, this is when suddenly, as seeing the opportunity, Valtos would then suddenly open up multiple portals. As jumping through each one of these portals, we would then see a different mage. "Give up. You're surrounded," one of them would speak. Now, at this, Leopold would instantly try helping Asta, but this is when Asta would then scream at him. "Get out of my way," he would shout. At this will stop Leopold in his tracks. This is when Asta would then give him a very intimidating smile. "I want to use these guys as warm-ups." At this, everyone would be looking at Asta like, is this man freaking insane? As this is when one of the enemy mages would then be pissed off. "You think you're strong? Of course, you arrogant magic knights think so. I'll gladly obliterate you." However, right before he could really do anything, this is when Asta would then appear right in front of him, grabbing him by the head and slamming him directly into one of his other comrades. "Less talking, more fighting. Now come on, the rest of you." As this is when Asta would send them flying with a kick. Each one of the rest of them would then jump into action, sending off their respective attacks at Asta, who just opens his mouth and eats their magic attack like they were food. "Thanks for the grub. My turn." At this, Asta would then suddenly begin to power up even further, as his fist would then grow with his Dragon Slayer Arts power of the end. At this, the rest of them can do nothing more but watch as this monster obliterates them. Literally, there is nothing they could even do. It was disrespectful. Asta would sweep one of them. Asta would sweep kick one of them. He would then punch the other in the face. He was going all around dancing as if they were nothing, which they really were. By the time Asta was through with them, they were all down on the ground, each one of them foaming at the mouth and beaten up. Just Just what the heck is he? Valtos, as well as everyone else, could see it. Asta's magical power, it was wild. It was definitely nothing of a normal human. As Asta then turned his eyes directly into Valtos, giving him the strongest side eye that you guys will probably see in Black Clover. This will cause Valtos to actually be shaken up. You're next. As this one suddenly, as soon as Valtos ends up seeing Asta approaching menacingly, he actually begins to sweat, thinking that now was the time for him to escape. But this one suddenly, Fuegoleon would also end up arriving. Wait, but he would then stop as he would then seeing that legit everything was taken care of. In fact, none of them even seemed injured. I guess I wasn't required. At this, he would then see Asta as he would actually end up approaching, he would actually end up vanishing and appearing right in front of Valtos as he ends up trapping him under his deadly grip. At this, right before he was about to land a hit on Valtos though, this when Fuegoleon stops him. Wait, that's enough. At this, Asta would then get angry as he would then turn to him. As he was about to go ahead and tell this man off, however, he would stop. His magical power. At this, Asta would then begin to actually, sense and, take a sniff of his magical power, and he can already tell something. This guy, unlike the rest of the nobles, who pretty much Asta began to distribute them by scent. Now, nobles have a very certain scent. For example, the arrogant and scumbags, their magic sounds pretty foul and weak, to Asta's eyes at least. But Fuegoleon's magic, it's different. It's more like, how he couldn't explain it, but it felt very prideful. Yet at the same time, he could see a sense of respect directly towards it. I guess he isn't as weak as the others, he would think. At this, Asta would sigh. He would then suddenly throw Valtos directly at Fuegoleon, as he would then say something talking about, he was too weak for me, and honestly, I'm bored. To which Fuegoleon and the rest of them can do nothing more but sigh. So after that, Fuegoleon would then, of course, capture Valtos and his magic, as he ends up trapping him and holding him captive, saying that he'll be used as questioning for later. At this, for the rest of them, they had already been captured as well. But Rady's, do I really want to? No, Rady's is dead. Yeah, I'm sorry. They're like, bro, you're not taking a very powerful hit of a Dragon Slayer directly to the chest and then get that same attack, but this time with his leg. You're not surviving that, buddy. Even if this man was able to bring back his soul, no. No, his body is too injured. And even if he did, he's going to need another body, another vessel. So, yeah. Asta really did not give him a chance. So, with that being said, and after all of that, we're going on and turn to Asta and saying, great work. By the way, I apologize about what happened, he would say. As he actually ends up bowing his head to Asta. Seeing this, Leopold as well as Noel is in shock as a captain, a noble at that, was bowing to Asta. But Asta ended up smirking. You're definitely stronger than the rest of those weaklings. You and me gotta fight once in a while, he would say. Hearing these words, Leopold and Noel just gasped. Is Asta legit insane? But this is when Fuegoleon would actually laugh. Well then, I must prepare. After all, you seem quite capable. I'm looking forward to it, he would say. At this, Asta would then give him a grin. As this is when both Asta and Fuegoleon would then shake hands. As soon as Asta's hand and Fuegoleon's hand separate, this is when suddenly a portal would then open up right underneath them. What? At this, everyone will see and literally gasp in shock, as this is when Fuegoleon would then be pulled by an unknown force, as he would then look at the rest of them. Stay calm. Everything will be... However, this is when Asta would then catch Fuegoleon and, literally pull him out of the portal with his own strength. Sorry, but I sense someone strong in there. I'm going to go on ahead. At this, Fuegoleon as well as the rest of them would look at Asta in shock, as he ends up throwing Fuegoleon directly at Leopold and Noel, as, of course, Leopold ends up catching his brother. But Asta is the one who's getting pulled in the portal instead. Noel will be shouting at Asta, but Asta honestly was fine, as he then gives her a fierce grin. Look after that small little girl for me. Go find her parents. I'll be back, he would say, as he goes ahead and enters the portal, while the others can do nothing more but watch. Well, this is boring, said Asta, as he ends up looking around. He was in this area. It was pretty bright, but he honestly was just annoyed. However, this one's something he would then pick up on the scent of something, as he would then turn around, as he would see the leader of the Eye of the Midnight Sun, which that being Licht or Patri, that we will find out later on. Now at this point, Asta ends up laughing. So you're him. You're strong. I can feel it. How about it, huh? You and me, one-on-one, he would say. At this, Licht would look at Asta displeased. You are nothing more than annoyance, and you weren't the one that was supposed to be here. So hearing these words, Licht would then throw Asta a ginormous blade made of light, as he would then turn around thinking that he was done for. However, this one suddenly he would then hear his magic be destroyed. What? As he ends up turning around to see that Asta had caught the blade of light and shatter it with his fist. You were saying something, weakling? Asta would say as he had a very ticked off smile on his face. Seeing this, Licht would then sense it, Asta's magical power rising as he realized that he had underestimated him. Damn it. At this, he would then suddenly create multiple light blades as he sent them all towards Asta, who ends up letting out a massive roar. Yeah, let's go. At this, he ends up rushing at the light blades as this one suddenly he then breaks them all, throwing multiple punches at each one of them, destroying them in an instant. Licht, seeing this, would actually end up using this to his advantage, as while Asta was distracted destroying them, he would then vanish and appear right behind Asta. I'll give you that, you're strong. However, you're still far below me. He'll create a light blade and actually swing for Asta's neck, trying to decapitate him. However, this is when Asta would then suddenly literally duck underneath the slash, which surprised Licht. What? But this one suddenly he would then be elbowed in the gut by Asta, as he ends up smiling. Got ya. At this, Asta would then suddenly grab onto Licht. At this one suddenly he would then pull him up close to his face, as he would then give him a nasty headbutt. Licht at this point would now be completely thrown off, as he would honestly try to regain his balance, but this one also would then land a powerful power of the end directly into his fist, directly into his stomach, as Licht can do nothing more but cough up blood at the response. What? How could I be losing to a human? As this also then let out a mighty roar, as he would then suddenly grab both of his hands together, combining both of the powers of the end, as he would then suddenly slam both of his fists directly on top of Licht's head. At this, however, right before the attack can make contact though, Licht would then turn into light, as he would then suddenly vanish right before Asta's attack hit him. However, the force of the attack was so powerful that it shook the entire base that he was in recently, as this when suddenly the cave would then begin to collapse. Damn it! Get back here! Asta would shout as he looks at Licht. As Licht would separate from Asta, at this point the base that was around him was now collapsing. I've underestimated you, but I will not do such a thing again. Allow me to remember the name of the one that we shall hunt down, he would say. At this, Asta would then smirk. Oh, quit with your dumb riddles. It's Asta. And send as many of them as you want. As this is when Asta would have the power, like literally the Dragon Slayer magic appearing right behind him. As this is when Licht could literally see like the head shape of a dragon appearing right behind Asta, as Asta's eyes would seemingly be glowing with it. I'll gladly slaughter them all along with you. Seeing these words, Licht can do nothing more but watch in shock. However, he would then sense a magic attack approaching. As seeing that the base was collapsing and everything, he realized that now was his time to go. As he would then vanish, just when we then see at times he would then appear right in front of him, as Asta can do nothing more but sigh. Damn it! At this, as soon as Asta would then realize that the base was collapsing, he would then prepare to actually avoid it and just run out. But this is when suddenly the base would actually stop, as all the pieces that were falling out would then suddenly return back. What? Asta would say, as he would see everything just returning back to normal. This is when suddenly he would then end up sensing someone approaching right behind him. At this, Asta would plan to slam a fist directly into the guy's gut. However, his attack would then be blocked by another fist, this being the Wizard King. Oh, relax. Honestly, I'm impressed. At this, Asta would look at the man as he would see the Wizard King. Oh, it's you. Hey, you owe me a fight, Asta would say as he ends up glaring at the Wizard King. At this, the Wizard King can do nothing more but sigh as Asta would, once again tell him that, they should get back into the kingdom fast and fight. However, he ended up looking at Asta seriously. Asta, that man, how are you able to keep up with his attacks, he would say. At this, Asta would then suddenly stop, in his whole rambling as he would then turn serious. He's strong, I'll give you that much. But his attacks were they were fast, but I seem faster, he would say. At this, the Wizard King would look at Asta surprised. I was barely able to keep up with those attacks in the first place. Yet he was able to do it as if they were nothing. And what does he mean he's seen faster? Just what exactly is this magic, he would say. As Asta's power, it was so odd to the Wizard King. It was so unique. The power to legit absorb magic and legit have the power to even destroy it. Like Asta literally was destroying the magical blades. He wasn't deflecting them or anything. He was straight up just destroying them. Pure physical strength or magic strength at all. It surprised the Wizard King. He'd never seen anything like this. And due to this, he really wanted to know exactly what was Asta referring to. But seeing that everything was done, he ends up turning to Asta. Well, I still thank you for your help, but I believe it's time for us to return. At this, Asta ends up realizing that he actually was taken away, so he's like, okay. However, you do owe me a fight. You do remember that, right? At this, the Wizard King sighs. He ends up putting his hand on Asta's shoulder, as this one suddenly will then teleport away. Now, back at the Clover Kingdom, the rest of the Magic Knights ends up, getting back together as they will all try to, figure out a plan. At this, Figolian would also give them about tell them about what happened. With Noel being the one who saw most of everything, would explain about what happened, all the way to the point where Asta was actually ended up being captured. We have to go rescue him, Figolian would say, as multiple of the Magic Knights were actually reluctant about it, as Asta was seen as this arrogant little crap who continued egged on the captains as well as the nobles. More importantly, the nobles. So they didn't really feel like, rescuing Asta. However, they did understand that he was a fellow Magic Knight and they must do their job, though. But this is when suddenly a voice would then set in. Guys, I'm right here. At this, everyone then turned around to see Asta with a blank expression, as right beside him was the Wizard King Yuno, who was laughing, at the entire display. Seeing this, Noel, as well as the rest of Asta's friends, would run over to him, as they started asking him if he was okay and everything. At this, Figolian would also end up approaching Asta as he ends up turning to him. Are you alright? I'm sorry for what happened, he would say, as he honestly felt ashamed that Asta had gone to wherever the heck he was, and he clearly understood the situation. If it wasn't for the Wizard King, Asta may have not been there right now. At this, Asta would look at the man and says, it's alright. However, if you really do want to forgive me, at this, Figolian ends up chuckling. Let me guess, you want to fight? At this, Asta ends up shaking his head. No! I want you to give me some food. At this, everyone can do nothing more but watch Asta. He ends up saying, I'm hungry. I've been fighting for so long, and you guys pretty much had ruined that delicious food for me. So any of you guys got food right now? At this, the Wizard King ends up chuckling, and he ends up telling Asta that they do still have some food from the party, or the banquet that they had. So Asta ends up smiling. Oh, bet, let's go. As he ends up rushing into the kingdom with the rest of Asta's friends following along with him, telling him to wait up. At this, everyone could do nothing more but watch in shock, as they couldn't believe the stories that Noel, as well as Leopold, had also said. They couldn't believe that this goofy goober right here was honestly the one who did everything. And this Julius ends up laughing. Man, I'm honestly impressed. When I heard about him, I was completely interested in his magic, but now I could tell. At this point, all the Magic Knights then turned to the Wizard King, as he then looked at them. He had fought the leader of the Eye of the Midnight Sun, a light magic user. And from what I've seen, he had completely dominated in that fight, he would say. At this, everyone will watch in shock. However, most of them didn't really think I was anything special. After all, if the commoner was able to go up against him, then what exactly... heck, that should be easy for them to beat him. But this is when Julius would then say the final part of his sentence, which caused them all to freeze up. He was able to keep up with him when I was unable to. This froze everyone. The Wizard King was honestly probably, if not one of, and if not literally the strongest mage out there in the Clover Kingdom. And if he was not able to keep up with the leader of the Eye of the Midnight Sun, and his commoner was, it really showed just how strong he was. So seeing that everyone was now turning to him, he would then begin to walk away as he ends up saying these final parting words. I recommend you guys start getting stronger. After all, his strength is already unbearable enough. I could honestly start thinking that he might actually be able to rival the captains. Julius would leave this small little bit of information behind, but it was enough to shock everyone. The newest addition to the Magic Knights, a commoner at that, had the power that could possibly even rival the captains. This will actually end up shaking them all, including the nobles, who were extremely pissed off at this, as they were all pretty much embarrassed by Asta. Due to this, they end up actually resolving to actually train stronger, as to not be, surpassed by Asta, as well as to actually beat him. So, with this being said, we now move on with the time skip. After the whole events were done, and Asta chowing down on the banquet that was left, which eventually the Magic Knights actually, well, no, who am I kidding? They didn't really finish it, but still. They eventually had to decide to, start trying to fix up the Clover Kingdom from the attack, but also just ate the meals as if there was nothing. He also ended up meeting back up with Charmy, who was, of course, also feasting on the meal, which, honestly, that's something that they bond over with. And after that, it was finally time for them to leave. That food was delicious, Asta would say, as he had a smile on his face. At this, Noel could sigh. Honestly, do you have a black hole for a stomach? At this, Asta would then sigh. No, I just got a stomach. At this, Noel would think that how is this man both strong and also intelligent, but at the same time he's stupid. It made no sense. Like Asta would know things that Noel had no idea about, yet he would also say things that were so incredibly stupid that his IQ would be that of Cosmo from Fairy Godparents. So it literally made no sense. So at the same time as Asta was walking back, this is when suddenly he would then hear his name be called out. Asta. At this, he would turn around to see Yuno as well as the rest of the Golden Dawn team. As this is when Yuno would then suddenly open his book. As by the way, Yuno did end up having that fight against Catherine, to which he ends up dominating. Yeah, so don't worry about that. As this is when Yuno would then suddenly create a wind arrow. At this, also would see the attack coming in and says, "Bring it." At this, seeing this, Yuno would then shoot off the ginormous attack that was also increased by the power of the spirit. However, also would just see the attack as if it was nothing more but more lunch. He would open his mouth as he actually ends up absorbing and eating up the magic as if it was nothing. "Oh man, this is delicious, Yuno. What the heck did you do to your magic? It's even better than before," he would say, as he ends up gobbling up the entire magic arrow, as the others can do nothing more but watch in shock. After Asta was done, he ends up actually smiling at Yuno. "Man, if this is what you get when you get stronger, you gotta get stronger even faster, buddy. I'm gonna need second courses of that." At this, Yuno ends up smirking as him saying, "You're strong for now, Asta, but one day, I'll surpass you." To this, Asta ends up giving him a smirk. "We'll see about that." At this, Asta ends up walking away with... This is when we will then also see the elf spirit literally looking in shock. He just ate the attack of a wind spirit. What is he? Is he a spirit? I never heard of him. What is this? She was completely just blown away by the fact that Asta was this powerful. It made no sense. But honestly, she couldn't do anything else. At this, Asta was just walking away, as this is when Noel would also begin to berate, telling him, like, what the heck is wrong with you and everything. But, after all that being said, the Black Bulls will then go their separate way from the Golden Dawn. And this is where we're now moving on to the next arc. This being the Eye of the Midnight Sun encounter arc. Wow, that's a mouthful. Alright, so I'm gonna... Sorry guys, I'm trying to see should I continue? I'm gonna continue to the introduction of this arc, okay? I'm gonna continue to that. So we now start off where we last left off, as we end up seeing that Asta ended up returning back to the Black Bull's base. He was still working out on his powers. He continued training with his Dragon Slayer arts, trying to figure out more and more combinations for them, as well as the fact that Asta also began to increase his knowledge with studying, as after all, Asta was very diligent, like he was like a soldier pretty much. So he would follow the orders of Sister Lily, which he remembered. And speaking of the Sister Lily, the orphanage that was back at Hodge was getting a lot of money, as the Wizard King had actually rewarded Asta with a large amount of money, especially after he had not only helped him discover who the leader of the Eye of the Midnight Sun is, but also helped out in the invasion. Due to this, Asta had pretty much spent all that money and sent it to Hodge Village, to which they were extremely thankful for, as Hodge Village's popularity was also growing. However, while doing this though, Asta would just be calmly training, typical, as this was something he'll then be approached by Finral. "Hey Asta, how you doing?" he would say. At this, Asta would look at him. I'm training." At this, Finral would then have a sweat drop. "Yeah, I could clearly see that." At this, Asta was currently carrying about 20 boulders right behind his back, as he was currently doing squats along with them. If you need me, well, either way, if you're still here, then can I continue?" he would say as he begins to continue working out. But this is when Finral then stops. "Actually, Asta, if you wouldn't mind, would you like to come to a mixer?" At this, Asta will look at Finral confused. "No, I got training." At this, Finral will then begin to beg for Asta, but Asta ends up saying no, as this is when we end up having a time skip. "Man, this food is delicious," Asta would say. He begins to dig into the food that was right in front of him, as he would be there sitting next to Luck and Finral, as well as I cannot talk, as well as 3 women. Now, Asta had actually been tricked by Finral, as Finral had told Asta that a mixer was, of course, just to talk to women and everything, which Asta honestly had no care for. But this is when he brought up about the food, Asta was fully on board. He was like, whoa, you said food. You said me, I'm going. So due to this, it's pretty obvious why Asta was not there. Asta was there eating food with a happy smile on his face until he eventually remembered that he needed to slow down because, the lessons of Sister Lily were literally beaten into him. So, of course, he would, remembered. As Asta was there eating his meat, this is when, of course, the rest... Oh my god, I'm sorry guys. I tried saying it with a straight face, but like I can't. Oh my gosh, dude. Let's continue on. Asta was there eating his meal as the rest of the females were just there looking at him, while Finral just thinks like, oh my gosh. Now, Asta was extremely good looking, as well as the fact that he was extremely built. Due to these two combos, of course, Asta was going to get a bunch of attraction from the women's. As well as the fact that Asta had that wild look, which, of course, a lot of women would like, especially these guys. However, after a while, though, they eventually end up getting talking, with Finral end up vibing with one and, Luck vibing with the other. However, this one's only a drunken man with an approach. And exactly what are you doing here? A drunken man would say as he would end up looking at Rebecca. This is where he actually begins to speak of Rebecca, pretty much acting as if she's like a mother to the children, which we all know it's not true. As Rebecca would of course be upset about this is when the man would then grab onto her hand, saying that if she needed a man so bad, he would be that man. However, this is when suddenly also his voice wouldn't speak up. Hey, fat ass, move! You reek of booze, and it's ruining the meal. He would say. At this, hearing the insult, the man would then turn to Asta. What did you say, you runt? This is when he would then throw a fist at Asta. Asta would then suddenly grab the fist and flip this man over, causing him to crash into a table. At this, Asta would look at the rest of them as he would then say, oh, apologies, as Asta did know when to take responsibility. He ended up picking up the man as he ended up tossing him out of the restaurant, which was honestly even worse. But heck, it got the job done. As this is when Asta would then suddenly begin to eat the rest of his meal at a faster pace, as he ended up thanking them for the meal. Thank you. He ends up slamming a bunch of coins onto the table, as even though Asta did transfer a lot of money to Hodge Village, Lily had actually insisted for him to actually, keep some for himself. Of course, via envelope, of course. So due to this, Asta kept some money on hand just for food or for training equipment, but still, nonetheless, he continued on. So after that, he ended up walking away, but this one suddenly, as soon as he does, he would then be, approached by Rebecca, but also Noelle, who was, secretly spying on them, because, she's stalker. As Asta was walking away, she would then run. Wait! Thank you for your help, she would say. Asta would look at her strange. He would then say, yeah, don't worry about it, he would say. At this, she would actually end up, looking at Asta, blushing. As this is where she ends up catching feelings for him. At this, when Asta and her actually begin to get talking. At this, she actually begins to explain that, that she actually had siblings, which Asta ends up laughing, saying that he also had his own. At this, they also begin to share their experience about siblings and everything. And eventually, Rebecca actually ends up inviting Asta to her house, to which he ends up saying that he ends up visiting once in a while. As after this, Rebecca would, of course, end up going back to her home, feeling happy that, about Asta. As this is when Asta would then turn around to Noelle's area. I could smell you. At this, Noelle would honestly end up blushing, as if telling Asta that, he was a pervert, but Asta ends up shrugging. Come on, let's go home. At this, Noelle would end up looking at Asta surprised, as he would end up walking away, as he then turns to her. Are you coming or what? At this, Noelle will blush as she rushes over to Asta, as they end up walking side by side as they end up returning back to the Black Bull's base. As this is where I'm now going to end this part to the what if. Hope you all do enjoy. My gosh, I am hungry. Did I even eat breakfast after this? No, I did. Guys, thank you so much for your support. I know that, yeah, I sort of messed, I added a lot more jokes into this, but not gonna lie to you, some of those jokes were honestly unintentional. Like, legit, they just came out of my mouth, and legit, I don't know why, it just sounded sus, and I laughed, okay? But hope that isn't too much of an issue. Thank you all so much for your support. You guys truly are amazing. Hopefully you guys will continue to support this channel, even I question myself why you guys do so. But heck, you guys are amazing nonetheless. And once again, thank you all so much for your support, and I hope you guys have a lovely day. I apologize for the spring break incident, but hey, as your host, HD Samurai, I post every day of the week, and I'm out. Peace!